darlings, I'm Matt.
And I'm Megan.
And welcome to College Uncomplicated's Financial Aid Boot Camp.
Today we're going to be talking about the differences between applying for financial aid for public universities and private universities. It just so happened that I went to a public university.
And I went to a private university.
Do realize though that the general process is the same. So file your FAFSA early, file your taxes early, and fill out the CSS profile if your college requires it.
CSS stands for the College Scholarship Service and is hosted by collegeboard.com. It's used by colleges and universities across the country to determine institutional aid that a student will need in order to afford the cost of more expensive private universities. The profile, like FAFSA, asks a bunch of different questions about each individual student's living situation, ranging from their parents' income to the family size to the family status to help determine institutional aid.
The in-depth information that this requires makes it a lot more complicated, and it's actually a lot less user-friendly than the FAFSA. So try and fill this out as early as possible. Actually start on everything early.
Pretty much.
Just do everything early.
Just go. You're bored? Oh, go fill out FAFSA.
Do your college application.
Word. And remember, there is a fee associated with the CSS profile, so students will need to be aware of that when filling it out, especially during their first year when you have to pay the fee for every university that you send the profile to.
The reason for the differences in these forms is because you get different types of aid packages at private and public universities. Public universities rely heavily on state and federal funding.
Private universities, on the other hand, because they don't qualify for state aid a lot of the time, rely more heavily on institutional aid. And because of the larger price tag, typically have larger packages than public counterparts.
These differences may make it seem like applying for financial aid at both private and public universities is overly complicated, but the general process is pretty much the same. For both types of institutions, you fill out the FAFSA, and then for private universities, you fill out the CSS profile in addition.
Along with both of these things, both types of universities are required to verify 1/3 of their students each year. So students should be prepared to go through the verification process every year.
So those are the basic differences in applying for financial aid at private and public universities. If you found this video informative, make sure to like it. You can also subscribe to College Uncomplicated in order to get more videos from our financial aid bootcamp.
If you have any questions for us, just leave them in the comments below. And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Pinterest at College Uncomp.
And make sure you go to public universities.
Private, please.
Public.
Private.
Public.
Private.
Public.
Private.
Public.
Private. No! Oh, we'll see you next week.
Public.
Private. Okay, too much. You done?
Public.
And I remember the sun was setting and it was like nice and like balmy outside. It's like, okay, you know what, let me actually take a look at UT, like, let's see. And when I actually looked at it, it had everything that I was really looking for in a college. I have never once regretted my decision.